but thanks for noticing. Once in a lifetime.
I love that.
This video and all content is made possible by our Patreon subscribers. For $3 a month, you can help keep the lights on here at From North to Wharf. Thank you for your ongoing support. And if you would like your own From North to Wharf merchandise, head to fromnorthtowharf.threadless.com.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to a brand new episode of From the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your unofficial one-stop destination for bento box information. As always, I am Mike.
And I'm JB. How's it going, everybody?
Hello, everyone. It's a lovely Monday evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. For some reason,
Hot mic. Test.
for some reason, my mic was muted. I want to make sure
No, I can
I'm
hear you.
running hot here. Sorry. Audio input default USB. There we go. Now it's the proper mic chosen. Fucking weird. Hey everybody. It's a Monday evening, which means we got a brand new episode of From North to Wharf. Not much to discuss this week. There is some show news to discuss as far as North to Wharf goes, but not much to discuss in the way of bento shows.
Yeah, really just wanted to squash these rumors. Is Bob's ending? It's not.
I don't know how many
Stop.
times.
Don't go for the clickbait, guys. It's not real. I know Comic Book and a couple other websites have posted like the next few episodes of season 15 have been delayed. That's due to the NFL and to scheduling and them trying to decipher and figure out animation domination and how they want to separate fall, spring, summer, and all those lineups and make it work. Because they've got, as Mike has pointed out in the past, 9 shows, and we got to make it work. So we got to figure out how that works. So Fox is messing around with it a little bit, trying to see what sticks and what doesn't. So as we have said in the past, we'll clear this up, that beginning February 16th is Family Guy, Grimmsburg, The Great North, and Crapopolis. And that's going to be the lineup that they're going with for a little bit. Simpsons will return on March 30th on its own. And then they have not said it when Bob's is coming back. Because in the lineup as of March 30th will be Simpsons, new episodes of Family Guy, Great North, and Crapopolis. So Bob's Burgers will probably be coming out at some point after that. I would probably assume maybe more towards the later spring months. Because they're going to probably let some of these shows finish out.
If we don't see Bob's by April, I'm not going to be shocked.
No.
Everyone needs to relax. The show's not going anywhere. The show's as popular as ever. In fact, Variety just released, I think a couple days ago, the streaming numbers, and it ranked all the top streaming shows amongst all the platforms, amongst all the categories. It's not just animation. And Bob's is ranked 4th. Of all the streaming shows. I'm
sure Bluey's up there. That's probably 1.
I think Bluey's 1, and then I think it was there was another show at 2. I think it was one of those NCIS or one of those doctor shows or whatever. And then
probably or something. Or
something like that.
SVU if I had to pick one.
Yeah, followed by Family Guy, and then Bob's at 4th, and that's amongst all streaming shows. So the show's not going anywhere. What is it? Just calm down. Just because you don't hear something doesn't mean there's not stuff in the background being worked on. But they're not just going to drop that news on a regular Tuesday for everybody. So calm down.
And I'm trying to think which Bob's character says it, but it's like, yeah, guys, take a chill pill. Like it's
Yeah.
just like it's gonna be just fine.
So it will only appear if one of the animation domination shows is on break like last spring. Well, that's just how shows go. Once one show's done, another one takes its place.
And I think that might be what we're doing. Is
Yeah.
that probably Crapopolis will finish its season, and then that's when like Bob's will take over.
And
One of the
that's
shows will finish their season, and like it's got to be Crapopolis because they seem like they're going to be closer to being done anyway.
Yeah, and you have to look at it this way. Let's say you have a very popular show, Bob's Burgers. You know the audience is going to be there when it comes back. And you have another show that maybe isn't doing so great as Bob's Burgers. Let's say Grimsburg, for example. You want to get that in right when folks are expecting Bob. So they're going to show up expecting Bob, like, oh, it's Grimsburg. Oh, I'm already here. I might as well watch a show. Instead of putting it after Bob's is completely done and everyone's already checked out. It just makes sense.
They do the same thing at the end of the Super Bowl. It's notorious in the ratings that the show that follows up the Super Bowl has ridiculous reviews and like viewership because people are just like, well, I'm just sitting here anyway. I'll just watch it. So Fox or whoever hosts the Super Bowl always puts a new show right afterwards, and they prime it up and do a bunch of like promos, and people will watch it because they're like, well, the game's over. I might as well watch it. Or if even before the game, you'll see that show does a killing in ratings.
Yeah. And it's not even half the time. It's not even folks watching it. It's just people leaving the TV on.
Yep.
On
and
Fox.
Like making food or getting their pizza and
Cleaning
stuff
up.
for the game or cleaning up or like hanging out with their friends or guests or whoever's over watching the game with them. Like they're not really watching it.
Yeah. And Bob's doesn't need that push. Grimsburg, Crapopolis, they need that push.
Yeah. And if you don't care to watch the Super Bowl, you can watch the super amazing commercial episode of Bob's Burgers. You can push that.
Let's see. Toast says, is it wrong that I enjoy watching people in Facebook Bob fan group panicking about the lineup change? It's not wrong at all. It's hilarious.
No.
And those people deserve to all the grief that they're getting. They deserve it. So.
We have been through this before. Like we've done this for a couple of years now.
We do this every year. It's not like the Super Bowl just became a thing, everyone.
No. Fox hosts the house for the most part. Although they are moving it around with other places, but it's always been like this.
Of course, a live action or reality show is going to take place after the Super Bowl in a few weeks. Yeah, probably. Probably. Again, it's a business move. Why folks don't understand that, even though this happens every year, is beyond us. I don't understand what the surprise is.
It's really just a testing ground. They're going to test out some new shows, test out lineups, because as we've said, like Bob's is the big hitter, and then they know like based on their rankings what comes next, and they're just trying to find which shows can be anchors and which shows are good in like different spots. It's like a relay team. You want to have the perfect lineup to finish well, so they're just trying to figure out what that is.
And not for nothing, summertime is kind of a lull for shows anyway, so why not save some of your big hitters for the summer when you need those numbers? It just makes sense, and everyone kind of just needs to chill.
And this may also be another reason why there's always not like set schedules for certain holiday episodes, is because it's hard to predict when things are going to air now. So that might also be a reason why.
Could be. Could be. But yeah, Bob's isn't going anywhere. The Great North is coming back. We're fine there. We're fine on all these shows. Unless you see JB or I panicking on an episode here, you can rest assured the shows are fine.
Yeah, if we're like pointing at like a board with a bunch of like ribbon and stuff like that, we're like Pepe Silva, Lauren Bouchard. Like things aren't working out. Like something is on fire here. Like that one you probably should be aware of. But like nothing is happening like that yet.
No. Yeah, everything is A-okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, nothing really to report until like February 16th. So until then, we're kind of just hanging out. A bit of North to Wharf news to discuss. Merchandise. Our current lineup is our Valentine's Day stuff, which we revealed last week, I believe. We still have our We Heart LA shirts, which 100% of the proceeds are going to be donated to those suffering from the fires out in California. At this point, we've raised about $150, $160.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
There's some stuff going on behind the scenes, but what we will say is come February 15th, there will only be North to Wharf merchandise on our shop going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So get your stuff while you can. There'll still be North to Wharf stuff, but it'll just be North to Wharf specific. So whether that be a Team JB shirt like JB's wearing right there, or the We Heart LA shirt like I'm wearing right here. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. But we'll make an announcement. At least we still have TGN in February, absolutely, and we'll still have other shows. Grimsburg's coming back for season 2, and Crapopolis for season 2 as well. I'm cautiously optimistic about season 2 of Grimsburg. I want to see what they do with it.
Same.
Yeah, I haven't seen a trailer or anything, so it is weird
I saw
knowing that it's right around the corner.
They just posted the artwork for it, kind of like the Great North. I loved how Great North did it with like just pieces being released.
Oh, I hated that mainly because
I'm sure you did.
I had to piece those things together.
I know.
And I had to redraw every little bit that was blocked off. It was a giant pain in the ass. But yeah, Grimsburg artwork was released. We have the artwork for Crapopolis already. Great North, like you said, Bob's. So we got the whole Animation Domination Cruise season key artworks ready. So that's good. And then I guess that means we'll have to update the schedule that we post every day.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that. I haven't seen Family Guys yet. Did they make theirs yet?
I honestly don't follow Family Guy, so I'm not sure if they've made it or posted it.
I'll take a look real quick, but I don't remember seeing it.
I'll say we're a Bento thing, not so much an Animation Domination thing. It just happens that Bento runs all of Animation Domination, essentially, except for 2 shows. Actually, no, because for some reason we didn't realize that Universal Basic Guys wasn't an Animation Domination or a Bento Box show.
Yeah, I know.
Which is weird. You'd think we'd be on top of that. But no, it's not. Which means...
Didn't know.
Which means... but yeah, that's little North to Wharf stuff going on behind the scenes as far as merch goes. But beyond that, we don't really have much else to discuss. By the way, I posted some BB artwork on my community posts. So if y'all want to check it out, go ahead. Community posts on what platform? Sile, however you say your name. I apologize that I definitely butchered it. Yeah, but what tab you got? Or what platform? We'll check it out for sure. And then if we're able to, we'll repost it. Any more news you'd like to discuss before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we're doing tonight?
That's about all I've got besides Todd doing his Dave's Traveling Tree Houses. But other than that,
yeah,
which we'll post of probably tomorrow with links.
Yeah, let's while we got the folks here, why don't you explain what that is exactly?
So Dave's Traveling Tree Houses is a nonprofit that basically was started by Dave Creek's sister. If you don't know who Dave Creek is, Dave Creek basically designed all the characters for Bob's Burgers starting from season 1 all the way to season 10 before he passed away in 2021. He also was able to draw most of the character designs for the movie. So if there's a favorite side character or person you're like, oh, I love that person in the show, Dave drew it and created that. And unfortunately, when he passed away, he was also really famous for making these tree houses out of old bonsai trees, like basically these amazing miniatures, and spent like 15 years making 5 of them. And his dream and goal was to have them displayed in children's hospitals so patients and their families could see them. And he was hoping it would bring them hope and kind of stir up some creativity for them so that they would enjoy the tree houses. So they are right now on display, and they have amazing cases for them. And their goal is to get them moving around the country so everyone can see them. And really, they just work on donations. So Todd from Toddland was able to put together a pretty awesome design for Dave's Traveling Tree Houses. They have hats, they have T-shirts. There's a book as well. The book, I believe, is on Amazon, and proceeds go to the donations, go to the foundation as well to help it basically just pay for travel fees so that these can go from like hospital to hospital.
Todd's also selling the book on his website.
Okay, cool. And then I do believe the book was made by Devo, who was one of the artists for the comic book for Bob's Burgers. And the design for the shirt, I can't remember who came up with the one of the bonsai tree house. It's new, and I know they work on the show. So it's all inside Bob's Burgers people that are helping out with this a little bit,
Mhm.
past, I believe, and present. So really, it's like just a amazing group of people just trying to support Dave's legacy. So if it's something you want to be more interested in or learn more about, we did post the link to the article about Dave and the tree houses and what they're about. I think that was yesterday's story. So if you need to see it again, we can put it up again. But it's really cool. They are amazing to look at.
If you're interested, go to toddland.com. There is a Dave Creek Traveling Treehouse tab there. If you click on that, the book's there, the t-shirts are there, the caps, the hats are there. There's also some stickers. 100% of the proceeds go to Dave Creek's Traveling Treehouse Foundation there. And if you want more information, you can head to www.davecreekstravelingtreehouses.org.
Yep.
We'll post all that on our Instagram page as well. But yeah, that's it for all the non-North to Wharf stuff tonight. No episodes to discuss. So what we decided to do a while back, we did a AMA where folks submitted questions to us, and we always said that we would answer those live. And tonight seems like the perfect night because we have nothing else to discuss. Even though we did kind of answer some of these questions before in story form on Instagram, we're kind of doing it live tonight and getting a little more in depth with some of these answers.
Yeah.
So yeah, without further ado, we'll just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
This comes from the user House of Devil Cosplay. Any upcoming Gale episode? She's my favorite side character. We know of one. It's that arts and crafts episode. We saw the cover art for it. It's Gale in a dress. Unfortunately, we don't really know anything on the story of it, but it should be out this season, I believe.
I believe it is this season.
Yeah.
And we can look into confirming that at some point, but they may not be able to. So it's just, that's just one of the things. But from what we do know, it's written. They probably had a table read for it because we saw the cover art.
Yep.
So it's either this season or next. And honestly, we've had some pretty decent Gale episodes as of late.
Yeah, so, just last season we had the or was it this season, the American Ninja style?
Yeah, the island one, almost like Survivor.
Yeah, was that
one was really good. I mean, the last couple seasons we've had some pretty good Gale episodes. We've had the one with Wheelie Mammoth. That's a little bit older, but we had that one where Gale's helping them get Wheelie to the skating rink. The pasta episode, which was great with the sauce. So
recently we had a Gale segment in the episode where Luis and Tina were fighting. So, but a Gale centric episode, I think only the arts and crafts one that we have coming up later in this season. So.
It seems like Gale at least gets one episode, not centralized around her, but usually around an issue that she's part of. At least once per episode. Something like the pumpkining, the yurt one is more her focused. But like even if you go back even further, like Gale making bobsled, the Mr. Business episode where he's trying to become Chef Cat, like Gale's kind of littered throughout. It seems a little more sparingly this like recently. Maybe it's just because Meg Mullally's super busy, and is also on the Great North as well, so it could be the splitting time. And also it allows for other characters to come in, but Gale is a really good character, especially when she's used in a way like Jean, where it's like almost like not like a total side character, but like the one where they were doing the Survivor one is just great because she's well done, she's well played, she's well written, she's not too much, she's just right.
That's unfortunately we don't have any inside scoop, but yeah, there should be a Gale episode coming up. Next question, _Kaylee_N_. How do you think a Great North and Bob's Burgers crossover would work? I have a fun thought on it. They didn't share their thought, but what do you think? Not what Lauren has said, but what do you think?
If I had to pick how they could do it, I don't think the Tobins are going to go to Seymour's Bay. I don't see that happening. It's too far of a ride. I think you may get it brought up in an episode. That would be a fun Easter egg, as simple as like Teddy ordered that salmon from Alaska. That was a little nod, I think, in some ways. And it would have been cool if it showed up in a box that said like hand caught by the Tobins of Alaska, or like Alaska, like Tobin's fish or whatever. That could have been fun. It also could be interesting if like on that cruise ship we could see maybe Duvall, because it seems like cruise ships come to the like Alaska and the Great North a lot. So that could be fun if we see like Duvall walking in the background and be like, oh, he's definitely from Bob's universe. I think the best crossover we're gonna get is gonna be something like that, where it's a side character or somebody from one show walks around in the other show, basically. I don't know if we're gonna get exactly what people want, which is like Bob and Beef talking.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I don't want the shows to interact. In fact, the best case scenario, if you had to use Bob's character, or you had to use the Belchers and you had to use the Tobins, for some reason I would want the Tobins to end up in Seymour's Bay, or the Belchers in Lone Moose, which I think Seymour's Bay is a little more realistic. Have maybe Moon walking in the background, like just across the street, and he kind of doubles back and looks over his shoulder and sees Luis with the bunny ears. And he kind of gives you, kind of like how they do the Sasquatches in the Great North now. It's like a blink and you miss a thing. But I don't want the shows to interact, and I don't want any kind of crossover where it's Tobins meet the Belchers.
I think you could have the Tobins in Seymour's Bay, but not in Bob's. I think it could very much, if they were taking like maybe a cruise, they maybe would go through like Seymour's Bay to go to the East Coast. It could be something like that. Maybe Beef has this dream of like going like lobster fishing, and so he's like waiting on King's Head Island for a ferry to go to wherever he's going, because Bob's does bring up like Midford, Connecticut and other places, and like Massachusetts and other cities, so they do definitely centralize themselves on the coast. So they could be very much just like, we're on our, like Beef's on his way to Boston, he's like going through like King's Head Island or something through the ferry system, and they could be like, oh, it's a nod to Bob's Burgers. That's, I think, as good as we're gonna get.
Yeah, and that's how it should be, because once you start shoehorning the shows in together, then you got to make both shows work, and they're two separate things. So trying to make like chocolate and dark chocolate work as one thing doesn't work. So yeah, I definitely think maybe the surname Tobin showing up somewhere as a slight little link, but never shall the two cross.
You could even have Ham reading coasters. You could have him reading Coasters magazine with Skip Marooch on the front cover. Maybe a little bit blurry, but him doing Skip's thing and just being like, "Oh, that's the Bob edition. That's his Coasters magazine." Yeah.
That would be the only way I could see it working. This is a fairly common question, but we'll ask it anyway.
I do like what Rango said though, real quick. Louise in her bunny ears versus Moon in his bear onesie would be fun to watch.
We should make up a poster like one of the old-timey boxer posters. Yeah, boxing posters. Yeah.
That could be
fun. From user it's_def_not_Naomi, which makes me believe it is Naomi. Your favorite Bob's episode and your least favorite episode.
What was the question? Sorry, I was reading what
you
had posted about Moon's barber being fired. It's a bowl cut.
It's probably Beef.
It is.
Favorite Bob's episode and least favorite episode. You can only pick one of each.
That's really tricky.
And two-parters do count as one.
No, I agree with that because it just simplifies it.
Yes.
That is tough because if you try to split it up into holidays and things like that, I think if I were to pick my favorite gut like episode that I always go to just to watch in a pinch, it's going to be Crawl Space. I always go back to it. I think it's hilarious and fun. So for me, it's going to be that one. What about you?
Favorite is definitely going to be Bob Day Afternoon.
The bank robber.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. We get Mickey, we get Sergeant Bosco. I think it's.
Oh, and you get Calvin too, like up front, move to the side.
I think it's just about as close to a perfect episode as I can think of. As far as least favorite, I'm probably going to lean. It's a toss-up between Brunch Squatch and Christmas in a Car, and I lean towards Christmas in a Car.
Oh man, that's like some of people's favorites.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's going to be ones that people may agree with or be like, I don't even remember that one. For me, and we've talked about this too, like there's not really a bad Bob's episode per se, when we usually rate them, and if they're a little bit lower than what people would think, or like, oh, that seems really harsh, it's like, no, but like most episodes are going to be right in the middle or pretty good. The great ones are like, I guess if you're me, they're more regularly noticed than Mike's, but that's fine. And some of them were just like, I wish they had changed the B plot, or I wish it had gone this way. It's more of a personal thing. And as I've said, also, like over the years, some episodes grow on me a little bit more. But I do think the Sprouted Gene one with the Tamagotchi drove me nuts. That's one. And there's a couple where like Linda kidnaps the like author of the book. That one kind of drove me a little bit nuts. It's like it's usually where a character that I like goes a little bit too extreme. And I'm just like, this one. I would say, is Gene or Linda? I'm gonna probably lean more towards Gene, and I think it's just the Gene one because I do think, unfortunately, sometimes he gets put into like this little bit of a trope where he's like, this is who he is, and I think he's more than that.
Let's see. Favorite episode is Plight Before Christmas. Least favorite is Mommy Boy.
That one's rough.
Hard one. Yeah. The Amelia Earhart is one of my favorites. Yeah, the Amelia one is perfect.
The Amelia one's amazing.
Here's another one that we get asked quite a bit from four. I believe it's supposed to be Ashton _, but with a 4 instead of an A. Rapid fire from the hip. Without thinking, who's your favorite Bob's Burgers character?
Teddy.
Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Slaggle Jeff asks, what is your favorite Linda-ism?
There's a lot of them. John Roberts really filled it with so many Linda moments. I mean, there's so many. They're like, oh, my face is probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's just so random when it's said, and it is just thrown in there, and it's great when it's kind of just said. I don't know. Which one do you have?
For me, it's got to be from the episode I Get a Sidekick Out of You, I think is the name of it. But when she was like,
that is really good too.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I catch myself and my wife doing that a lot around the house. Which is like, do you think it's gonna snow? Like, oh, and then also, he's crying out. He's crying out. Disney Dog's just crying out. It's like...
That, or actually, no, I stand corrected. When she sings no, when Bob asks maybe tonight, not tonight. Too. When she's like, not tonight, no, not tonight. That's probably my favorite one.
All right, simple no works.
I don't know why I wrote this one because we can't answer it. From user Dyer Brian, of course. Our friend Brian Wiley.
Yeah.
Who would you trust to hold your wallet while you stepped away, and who would you not trust?
Definitely not trusting Calvin or Mickey. Well, I don't know. Mickey maybe because it's not a bank, so he might give it back. Definitely not that skateboard kid that Gene gave his $20 to. He's not bringing change back. Not Calvin and not definitely Grover or Felix. No fish odors. Trying to think who I would trust to hold my... I think Teddy definitely would protect it with his life.
Yeah, I was going to say my choice is definitely Teddy to watch it.
I would say Mort, but then there's the episode where Mort's getting audited. And he's like, maybe I'll put my taxes this year. And it's like, I don't know. You don't seem good with money, Mort.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely choosing Teddy to watch it. As far as not watching it, I would say Calvin, not because he would take the money, but he would fuck with the wallet just in general. Like he would throw it on the roof or something just because he likes to mess with people. So I'm not worried about the money part. I'm worried about just not getting my wallet completely back.
And I think Calvin would like hide it and be like, go find it. Or like you try to make it fun. It's just like, this isn't fun for me because I need the money. It's like, oh, we don't really need it. Like you just go get more. And it's like, no, that's all my money. It's like, ooh, that was sad. It was so light.
See, I wouldn't trust Bob just because if he's in the restaurant and things get busy, then I feel like he's gonna get sidetracked and he's gonna go work as opposed to just
someone will take it or lose it.
Yeah. Teddy though, he'll hide it like he's fucking watching a puppy, I think.
Well, Teddy would put it in his pocket and literally protect it forever. Yeah, with Bob, I think the kids might take it. If Linda had it, she'd put it in their room and they would find it. So I don't think it's going to be one of the Belchers, unfortunately. Tina might protect it really well. But I just worry that Louise or Jean would find it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm pulling up my calendar here for a second. Calendar. Okay. Next question from me_Price. What is the most underrated episode?
Good question. Most underrated episode.
Yeah.
I know for me, you hate it. I
Mhm.
love Brunch Squatch, but I know you hate it. I know the fandom is split on it. I love it for the art piece, and I love it for what it is and what it does. Do I believe they could do 2 versions of that? I think it'd be fine if they did. Because I know people still say that they remember there being a regular version.
And it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
I think that episode is rated just fine because people either love it or they hate it. I'm having a hard time like finding an episode that's slept on by the community at
fandom.
large. I don't know. I mean, I know there are episodes that I think are overrated.
Yeah, I know you definitely have a list of those.
Yeah, I got
which
a
we
list of
may
those.
at some point do.
Yeah, maybe we'll do an overrated tier.
We could probably do an underrated too, just like ones that people like not necessarily slept on, but like just didn't get the recognition because either another episode overshadowed it. Like I will say, episodes that air before like Plight or Amelia or things like that definitely get overshadowed by them. Because
I think
like
the episodes
Warfning,
after,
yeah, I think afterwards they just get swept because they're just like everyone's still talking about the other one.
I don't know, underrated episode. I mean, I don't see a lot of folks talking about Bob Day Afternoon. I mean, it's
I love that episode.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites. So I mean, if I have to go, I'll say that one.
I like Roman Bob a Day, I think is a good one, but that's like with 77 sandwiches. And some people really like that just with that part of it.
Yeah.
But I just like the whole idea of Bob needing a day off.
Underrated. This may be controversial, but the season 11 Thanksgiving special.
Oh, Turkey Pardon one or Putz? I think it's Turkey Pardon.
Maybe.
That one I think is actually a lot of fun. It's really pretty. It's a very pretty episode.
But I do agree that it doesn't get talked about a lot. So yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And a lot of people put that one near the bottom of their Thanksgiving tier list too.
Yeah. I don't remember where it showed up on ours, but yeah. Okay. Hanner 1985 asked, if you had to have one of the Belcher kids as your own, which one would you pick?
I feel like Tina.
Yeah, I'd kill myself. I'm not having children. Whether they're the Belchers or any kid, I'm not having one. That's
Mike. This is not a Mike question. I think I would take Tina. Tina feels a lot like me as a kid in some ways, so I feel like it'd be easier to work with Tina. Maybe Jeremy, because the twins they got each other. But
I'll take that because he's imaginary and it doesn't exist. So yeah, I'll take Jeremy.
Diary of a Poopy Kid. Oh, that one. Yeah, that one does get overlooked as the Triptych Thanksgiving episode.
Oh yeah, I love Triptych.
And it's actually pretty fun. I like the Predator. That's fun. The Armageddon one is also pretty hysterical. And Air Force One is a great just action movie that's just ridiculous. But yeah.
Batak BATAK Flower, all one word, says, will Zeke ever make his move? We have the episode coming up where get Zeke to the prom. So Zeke's asking somebody out. So there you go.
Is it Tina? I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever step on Jimmy Jr.'s feet.
No, I don't think he will. Tina would have to make that move.
It would definitely be. It has to be Tina because then that's the separation that works. It just doesn't work if it's Jimmy Jr. and Tina and Zeke steps in because that's just like then he's going to lose a friend on top of Tina, who he's also pretty close with as friend. It complicates it. And he's outgoing, but I don't think he's that outgoing. I think he's a little more calculated than people give him credit for.
Yeah. Homer fan, Bob's is getting renewed for season 16 and 17. I promise you.
Yeah, I would probably bet money on it.
I would bet money on it. If I had money to bet, I would bet it.
Yep, I just don't have it.
User Wyatt _the_film_man. Are you excited for the 300th episode?
Very. From what I've heard and what we've heard from other people who were there for the table read, there were some tears shed. And they said it wasn't that it was always just a sad episode, but it's more of like a feel-good episode with a lot of good jokes. They said it was funny, and it's just, yeah.
And
we know that this is the first day that Bob's is open,
it's
right?
the opening of Bob's Burgers, yeah. Whether it's the whole day or it's night, I'm not quite sure what the time span of the episode is, but it is definitely the first day of the restaurant.
And there's a lot of openness to that. We could have flashbacks. It could be one of those flashbacks where Bob and Linda are telling the story of the restaurant. It could be that. It could be the build up to that, where we saw them in the movie, like looking at the restaurant for rent, and then see them like fixing it up and painting it, and Teddy being there and working on the restaurant, the booths and stuff like that. There could be a lot of just like nostalgia stuff where it's like we've heard about this but never saw it.
How do you want the episode to play out?
I kind of want it to be narrated by Bob and Linda and maybe Teddy. And I'm okay if like Mort's in there too and offers his like feedback. Where I had your dad's, like when I first had the burger that your dad made the first time, that's why I come in all the time. I want it to be like a nostalgia moment kind of episode where we get a lot of that like restaurant building. Seeing Calvin a little bit younger could be fun. I think seeing everyone younger could be entertaining.
I hope it's done like the radio episode.
Agreed.
Maybe Bob and Linda and the kids are looking through a photo album and they stumble across a photo, and then that leads into the story. But I hope it's told like the radio episode.
Because I don't necessarily know if you need the Belchers being too involved in the restaurant. Like I could see it being like maybe something really big gets broken at the restaurant, and they're just like, and maybe it's reminiscing about like having to fix it for the first time, and then we go back. And I can see it being like a burger getting flipped, and then it's just like lands, and we're back when Bob's like very young with Linda making his first burger, and be like, this grill's gonna be great. It's the first burger, and like then we get it. I do wonder if that's gonna be our segue. It's gonna be like real quick intro, a couple jokes, and then we're right into it.
I would almost like the episode to not even like, I know it's about the first day of the restaurant opening, but I wonder if the story can be told without like the end of the episode is them flipping the open sign. Like we don't actually see him making burgers. We don't see customers. We don't see everything. It's him setting up the restaurant, getting ready, and then boom.
That could definitely be it. And that might actually be the way they play it out, because we know that sometimes, like it's like the Ginger thing and Lily thing. We don't need to give you too much. We want you to fill in the blanks. As fans, we don't want to ruin everything for you. So it could be that. I could also see it going. Oh, real quick, do you think for the intro for the 300th episode, are we going to see Bob through the years, like season 1? Like pilot all the way, and it's just like the intro is like the evolution of the show.
I would like to see the evolution of the family. So Bob and Linda young go to the reopening. They have baby Tina, then baby Jean, then Louise, and
then we get to like the water coming through, and then we reopen.
Yeah,
and
so
it's just like maybe like in the windows is like 300th episode.
Yeah. So maybe like 10-second long intro or a 15-second long intro this time around. But that'd be fun to see the evolution of the family, which I mean, those are just still shots. So I feel like somebody could just draw that and animate it.
Definitely.
So
the van should definitely be like The Pest Is Yet to Come or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cute. Yeah. All right. Moving right along. Kin and GJ say, do you think Bob should have more crossovers?
No, I don't think it needs it. And I don't know who they cross. I mean, they've done like Simpsons. Archer, I think, is the best crossover we've got. The Simpsons intro with Homer going into Bob's was hysterical. I thought that was fun. And I know they went through a couple different iterations of that. I think Bernard posted those a while back.
Mhm.
like where they were on the couch and it was just like the Simpsons became the Belchers. But I love the version that they ended up doing with him going through like the portal into their restaurant as it's on fire and the rats and everything. And saying, what's wrong with him? Oh, poor
Mhm.
guy's trapped inside the restaurant.
Mm.
I think that was fun. I know other shows have made jabs at
Mhm.
Family Guy, like that. These are Emmy prices, and it's just like, I'll
Mhm.
just have black coffee and toast, please. Like,
Mhm. I like when Bob shows up in other shows, but I don't want anybody else to come into Bob's.
and it seems like that's how they play it.
Yeah,
Like,
it
you can
cheapens
have
it.
Bob, but he can't go to your he'll go to your thing. He doesn't. You don't show up to his house.
Yeah, it feels like when they do crossovers, it feels like a cop out.
Yeah.
Like an easy little, oh, we can just toss this in here and everybody will eat it up. So it feels like the easy way out, and I don't want that for Bob. So
No.
let's see, close you can get Easter eggs, which we have that like crossover. I mean, they're funny. They have their place, but I mean, all the crossovers are kind of just. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, we had the one where it's just like, go ahead, say something funny. Like, I know that was the jab. That was when they were salty after the Emmy wins. We're like, come on, give us that Emmy-worthy writing that you guys have. And they make roasted. He's like, this feels a little bit more like a roast. He's like, oh no, roasts are actually pleasant and caring. This is not that. So like they do that, but it's also very playful. They like each other.
Yeah,
So
yeah. There's no real animosity.
there's no
between
real
the shows.
animosity. Yeah, it's just
Lucky Lily. The 300th episode will be in season 16.
yes.
So maybe late this year or early next year, but definitely season 16. I think we're about 20 episodes.
It's definitely 16.
Yeah.
Kind of plays out. I think we did the math once, and it's like somewhere between. It's not like slapping in the middle of season 16, but it's like a little bit before it.
Yeah.
I do wonder if they'll end their season like the mid-season with that 300th episode, or will they start off the next batch of episodes for 16 like that split with the 300th episode and build up a lot of like publicity and build up to it.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, definitely season 16. Let's see. Which character would you want as your Secret Santa from Grundyke 75?
I mean, if Teddy wants you to be it, then maybe Teddy, but like it's obvious he did not want Mort. He was upset, so I don't know if it's him. I don't know. That's a good one. Like, I don't think the fish owners would do well because I don't think they understand the concept. So, like, yes, they have all the money in the world, but they don't spend it on anyone but themselves. So I don't think it, unless they're thinking they're buying a gift for themselves, it's not going to be a good gift. If you want something meaningful, though, Bob tries sometimes. I think Linda might actually be all right, or Tina.
I was gonna say I'm leaning towards Tina.
Yeah, we saw that in the other episodes, like that last Christmas episode where she bought the sprinkles and the Barobu, and like she put a lot of effort and time into her gifts.
Yeah, she may not have the money, but she has the emotional heart. Yeah, she cares and she tries.
And I'm trying to think anyone outside it. Mort might be okay. I mean, his gift to Teddy was super thoughtful. So he might be someone to look at.
Like I said, I was originally going to lean Teddy, but that's only if Teddy wants you. If he doesn't, then there's...
We've seen the evidence. It doesn't go well. He doesn't want you.
Yeah. Okay. Lily, no. The 100th episode was Glued Where's My Bob. The 200th episode was Bob Belcher and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Kids episode. I believe that's the one where they set the restaurant on fire. And then the 300th episode, we don't have a title for just yet.
No.
Okay. 8:40, 15 minutes. If you could be a background character or feature character, what would your story and what would your look be?
We've joked about this plenty of time. We have joked about we would like to just be in the restaurant eating burgers, and our plot, I don't know if we've ever come up with the plot. I don't know if it's we host a podcast and Bob makes fun of us, or I can't remember what it was, but I know we're just sitting there eating
I don't have to wonder because I was in the Bob's Burgers movie,
This is
which
true.
is
As a carny.
which is great for me. So I was a carny. My backstory was I had a broken arm, and then I lived in Carneopolis. So I'm good. Me and our buddy Adam, we've been in the show in the movie. JB has not. So
I have not. No. If anything, I probably would just be probably a handyman or something that like gets in Teddy's way.
The 300th on the wiki says it's called the Twinning. We know that episode. I don't think that's 300.
No.
Yeah, that's set up for a season 15 episode, the Twinning. But no, I don't think that's.
Yeah, they haven't released a title for it, and they haven't
Yeah.
released a picture for it. All we've seen is the 300 burger and the pin that came with it, and that's it.
No. We can see if we can try to get a title from y'all, but they're keeping that tight-lipped, and even we can't get that information. If we can't get that information, they're playing it close to the vest. But yeah, I'm 99% sure the Twinning ain't it. They would have made a bigger deal out of it if that was the case.
I almost wonder if that's an Andy and Ollie episode.
I don't know if I remember the cover. It's Teddy in the store next door.
I got it right here. Yeah.
Yeah, two silhouette figures.
Freaky Antiques is the title next door.
So I don't know.
I wonder if it's Chet and Nadine.
Like seriously in the movie? No, not really. So there's just a character that has
those tattoos.
Very, very similar tattoos in
I think
a very
4 stars
right location.
It is the right location.
Oh, it's the right amount too.
Oh yeah, you've checked.
I've checked. There's the right amount on the right area. I don't know. Again, those are 2 season 15 episodes that you talked about there, Homer. Again, episode 300. We're still, I think at this point, we're under 20 episodes to get to 300.
Yeah.
So that is well into season 16. So
yeah.
Let's see. Crossovers? No, we did that one. Would we ever see another episode about a non-Bob's Burgers family similar to the Rudy episode, you think?
Yes.
Think so?
I do think we will.
Who would you want to see?
I know I've openly said that we want the Ron episode, The Life of Ron, where it's just like his life and what he goes through every day. But I also think that secretly Ron is the reason that Bob's passes his inspections. I think Ron, while Hugo is screaming at Bob, makes things right. If anything's wrong or off, he tries to fix it before Hugo finds it. I think that's why Hugo gets so angry at Ron, is because he kind of gets angry because Bob's always passes or does just enough to get through and get by. And he gets upset about it because he can't pin it on anything. So he takes it on Ron. But like Ron secretly is just like, Bob's a nice guy. Like, it's fine. Like Hugo's just upset about the whole Linda thing. But I think that could actually be fun, is like seeing all the ways that Ron actually helps other restaurants do well, just because it's his way of getting back at Hugo.
It's Sila again. Paul Jones pronounced that right. Says Zeke's family.
We've seen them once in the Belchies. We've seen more of actually his cousin than we've seen of them.
I would like that, but I feel like it'd be a fucking depressing episode. And I don't know if I want that.
Yeah, we know Zeke has moved around a lot. We know he's been a bully at one point. I think we got a lot of Zeke in that one episode, so I don't know if it'll be Zeke. Teddy, we've gotten quite a bit of backstory, and it's also depressing.
I don't know if there's like a non-depressing story out there.
Yeah, I know we've talked about it'd be fun to do an episode which has a lot of side characters in it, which is more of like it's almost like a segue, like the day in a life at Seymour's Bay, where like it starts off with like someone like shaving, and then they go out in the street and they see roller skate guy, and it's like roller skate guy's perspective of like what's going on, and it's like how all of them interact. And basically it ends at Bob's Burgers because like somebody's there. we've talked about that, and then it goes into like just what the Belchers do at night, and then it just basically starts over again. And it's just like, this is just, no matter what you think about Bob's Burgers, touches everybody in Seymour's Bay at some point.
Yeah.
Let's see, Daryl would be, that's up to Aziz in the show.
Yeah. Plus, I don't like Daryl enough to give a hoot about his backstory.
I think the closest thing we've got with Daryl was the Rosa episode where him and Tina dated.
Yeah.
And like, he's been in Fortnite. He's had his moments. Background characters, that's tough. Like, I mean, I consider the Fish Odors and Teddy basically Belchers at this point, or closest to it. Teddy's the closest, but Calvin's in a lot, and so is Felix at this point. So you're really looking at like people outside of them. I mean, you're looking at like maybe Mort. You're looking at maybe Mike the Mailman, who's been around a long time.
Well,
you could do Marshmallow.
Marshmallow would be fun.
That'd be a good episode. I mean, I'm always for another Hawk episode. We don't have a lot of info about Gretchen. Dr. Yap, he's been in a lot early episodes, but not as much recently. You could have the like Jimmy Pesto backstory and like why he's so bitter towards Bob, but I think again that's something that's better just to be left alone and let you guys have that to yourself.
I don't know if we need more Ginger lore. I mean, we seem to got a lot, and sometimes not having the question is a lot funner than just like, okay, here's all the answers. There's no room for your own story to be told. It's oh, Lucky Lily's right. Nat would be a fun one.
That would be good.
We did get that the Madness Castle episode where we kind of got her backstory and love life and how that all kind of played out. And that was fun.
It could be a good episode too, because she was dating that person during that roller derby and stuff like that, and see if that played out.
Yeah. Would love that if only his voice actor make a return, or freaking reguess who Daryl. He was in the movie.
He was.
It's just hard to. It's just hard to
make room for everybody.
Yeah, it's hard to justify like shoehorning in a character just to tell a story that maybe nobody cares about. Rudy, obviously, that was a. He's essentially the seventh Belcher.
Yeah,
at this point, so
yeah,
that made sense.
Nailed it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would like other characters, but at the same point, I don't need them forced either. So if there's a story to be told, they'll tell it.
I think it needs to be like a good story. If it's just you're trying to get something with Mr. Frond and that's it, it's like if it's not gonna get us to a place where I actually like at least feel something about them, or I'm like, okay, that was actually worth having. I don't know if it's needed.
Yeah, it needs to add depth to the character.
Yes,
and not
and Rudy did.
Yeah.
And the one with Zeke definitely did, because it definitely affected his relationship with Jimmy Jr. and he had to like make amends for it.
The upcoming episode of Miss Shape Boy is going to be really interesting for all. I believe it's the kids essentially hiring, or at least acting manager for Arnold for like bodyguard duty, essentially. Which sounds fun. Yeah. Can't episode maybe with a Megan returning. No. Negative, yes. Also, Mr. Ambrose. Mr. Ambrose would be fun. It'd be fun just to have like a teacher's retreat kind of episode.
It would be. Even a triptych with the teachers in the teachers' lounge can be fun. Or it's just like the incident. And it's just like they all tell their angle about the incident that happened with Louise or somebody, and just be like, I think it would just be fun to be like, even Mr. Ambrose interrupting and yelling, be like, no, that's not how it happened. And then like going into how he saw it from the library. He's like, I was doing my job, stamping books. And like, it could be fun as a little mystery about it all. And it's just Mr. Bronco.
I wouldn't mind
Mr. Bronco with the coup would be fun.
Oh yeah, but that would be such a deep cut. Like nobody understands.
He only says it once.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind like a teacher's workday episode. Where there's no students, there's no nothing. It's just the teachers stuck in the school, and what they do on a teacher's workday.
Yep.
what's going on here? We do hope to be able to catch season 15 Bob's Burgers. Yeah, you're probably looking at April for the rest of Bob's.
Yep.
The season will start up in September like it always does. These are there's a character. Okay. Well, that's all the all the questions we have, at least for our time frame here. I know we're pushing to cap these things at an hour now, so that should probably be it for tonight. Some exciting news. JB and myself will be a guest on the. What is the name of that again? Hold on, I got it right here.
I was about to grab it myself.
The Cartoon Chronicles podcast. JB and myself will be a guest on that on this Wednesday. We're recording with them, and that's going to be fun. And then in turn, next Monday, I believe we're going to have them on our podcast. So we're going to have a special guest for that particular episode. We're going to discuss our love of Bob's, their love of Bob's. They're going to be doing a deep dive on that. So that's kind of how our paths cross. We'll be on the lookout on Instagram where we'll give you all that information.
And if you like old interviews with or episodes about Ed, Ed and Eddie and other things like that, their podcast, they have some great guests for that kind of stuff, especially old Cartoon Network shows. Kind of like how we did our Over the Garden Wall panel. They just did one with Ed, Ed and Eddie. They've done some other ones in the past for what was that show? Two Stupid Dogs. Rocco. They had the creator of Rocco, Joe Murray on. So if you want to learn more about animation, especially from the 90s and early 2000s, go ahead and just give them a follow and check their YouTube channel because they have a lot of good guests.
Yes, the Cartoon Chronicles. And again, we'll post that tomorrow. Until then, again, we have the from northwharf.threadless.com for any North Wharf merchandise. The We Heart LA shirt will be up there. Team JB shirt is up there at the moment. 100% of
broke it.
100% of the proceeds for this design will be donated to those affected by the California fire. At this point, we've gotten up to 150, maybe 160, I think.
Yep.
And that's all thanks to you. We really appreciate that. JB, you got anything else?
No, that's pretty much it on our end.
Let's see. It is currently January. Hopefully soon we should be hearing some WonderCon stuff.
That'd be cool.
Once we hear that, con season is right around the corner. Before you know, we'll be in sunny San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con, which we have some fun things planned for that too.
We do.
With a couple of friends of ours, so stay tuned. But until next time. Oh, hey guys, we got the calendar. Oh, thank you.
Nice. Yeah, and I know Wheelie got delivered today too. So nice.
Wheelie got delivered too. So again, thank you very much. We will see you next Monday with our special guest, the Cartoon Chronicles. Good night, everybody.
See you guys.